Looks like this set gets a thumbs up from Raphael, so what more could you want? Today we have this year's Target Haulathon Ninja Turtle 4-pack from NECA, the Punk Disguise Turtles. Taking a moment to spotlight some of the box features, we got some great artwork by Jason Yang across the bottom displaying those outfits, really like the boombox with Mikey. Some more teases on the back with a Space Usagi for some reason who came out several months ago. Not sure if that was an oopsie and it was supposed to be Samurai Usagi. And I have to take a second to show off some of these product shots. Here they are with all four of their alternate punk heads. And I really like this picture of Mikey with a skateboard on top of a trash can. I definitely need a trash can in my setup now. And here's a nice group shot of all four brothers in their sunglasses. Quick peek at the bottom for everyone involved. Great work so far. But without further ado, let's get rid of this terrible glare and break open the package. And just in case you wanted to display the turtles in the plastic but out of the box, I mean, I guess you could do that. But here's a better view of what you would see if you were an inbox collector. You can see just about everything that comes in the package. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, you can't really see the alternate heads until you flip it upside down like this. So just a quick heads up or heads down for anyone that wants to display these in box. You're not going to be able to see those punk heads very well. And here they are, fresh out of the plastic. One important thing to know is that they do not come with their standard weapons, so if you're hoping for that, you're out of luck with this pack. Honestly, I have so many sets of those at this point, it doesn't really matter to me, but if this is the only set you want, you might be careful of that. But let's take a look at the accessories that did come with it. I don't know how many people were excited about sacks of groceries, but I definitely was. You can see all sorts of things sticking out of the top, like some carrots, an eggplant, what looks like might be a robot arm. The leaves up top are a soft plastic, so you're hopefully not going to break those off. We have a big red dot on the front. I guess you could Photoshop an image on there, or you can just have them hold it backwards if you don't want that logo on there. Plain brown paper on the bottom as well. And then for this one, as far as I can tell, the bag itself is the same, but it's stuffed with different groceries, which I thought was a really good touch. No fruits or vegetables in this one, more of stock containers and maybe an energy drink, maybe some shampoo on the corner. Who knows? Let your imagination go wild. Next up, we have a brand new boombox. And this one seems to have a lot more finer details on it, even though it's smaller than the other two that we've gotten. Nice button detail all around, good colors, and the dual tape deck so you can make your own bootleg copies of the latest single. I really want to try to get this up on one of their shoulders, so hopefully I'm going to be able to get that to work. But all in all, just a great little accessory that's going to look perfect in photos. Next up, every 4-pack needs a good skateboard, and this one is definitely really unique. It's almost like a tattered grip tape up top. Of course, the wheels roll. It's got some cracks in the sides. This photo was floating around the other day of the baby turtles riding on this in one of their episodes, so I'll definitely try to recreate that one day with Mikey being the babysitter. After that, we have a couple smaller accessories that I'm honestly not sure where they came from, but they look cool. We have an itty-bitty robot, probably a toy for Donnie. If it is in the show, maybe it comes to life and wreaks havoc for the turtles, who knows? The arms and legs don't move, but it's got some nice detail crammed into a little body. Next, we have what I can only imagine is some sort of shrink ray or maybe like a freeze zapper. If you know for sure, definitely let me know in the comments, but I don't remember the turtles ever holding something like this, so your guess is as good as mine. And just in case you don't have any pizzas lying around, we got another one here. I like the line work on the crust of this pizza, makes it a little bit more unique. The toppings all have kind of a 3D quality to them, so it's not completely flat. I do wish NECA would stop putting fingernail clippings on their pizzas, because it honestly just grosses me out. So, can we just stop doing that? Pepperoni's fine, but nail clippings, I'm going to have to pass on that one. Alright, time for the accessories that I think the most people are excited for. I think these wild hairdos were used in an episode where the turtles went to Europe. Again, I'm not claiming to be an encyclopedia of knowledge, so if you know the right answer, correct me in the comments. These do have the movable and removable piece on the back of the bandana, so you can kind of pose it a little bit if you want to. And Donnie's hair is kind of this yellow-green going to orange spiky mohawk. Definitely looks really cool. One of my favorites. Next up is the extra Raph head. He's got the open teeth grin on just one side, like those classic figures. And he has more of a chunky, solid pink mohawk that's a little bit thicker than Donnie's. Next up, we have Leo, and he's got the wide open grin. He kind of has white gums up on top, so not sure if those were supposed to be painted. But I think the red mohawk and blue bandana really contrast nicely. I thought I might be able to get the top separated, but they just seem a little bit too stuck, so I don't want to force anything and break anything right out of the box. But you can pop off the bottom portions of these heads so you can mix them around. I do like the ones they're assigned to, so I'm not sure if I'll be doing that yet. Then in this pack, Mikey just really has to be different, so instead of a mohawk, he kind of has this moppy green and purple do. It looks cool from the front, but from the back view it looks a little bit weird, kind of more like a houseplant, but this view, I mean, come on, how can you beat that? Definitely a little less punk and a little more party dude if you ask me here, but I'll leave that up to you to interpret. I do maybe think for the first time ever we kind of got shorted some hands. In the end we get 8 total pair, which I think is great, but I could have used a few more thumbs up for this particular pack. I think that would have been fun. We had the pointers, the 2 thumbs up, and then for some reason we get these sai holding hands when we don't actually get the sai. So I think that was kind of a weird choice. Not a bad thing to have, I just wish we maybe would have had more of the fun ones. Then we have 2 flat hands. You can either do some high 3s or maybe use them to hold the grocery bags. The figures themselves all come with standard gripping hands. Next we'll do a closer look at the individual turtles so you can check out their outfits. They all have basically the same build except for that jacket sculpt. They all have a peekaboo little half shell there at the bottom. They have the shoes, the bandanas, and the sunglasses on top. I like the wider stance the sneakers give, but I do find them a little bit hard to pose. We get a little bit of up and down, but I wish the sock piece actually tilted side to side instead of moving the whole leg. It might make it a little bit easier to get these to stand up, but maybe I just need to heat them up. The legs are a little bit wobbly sometimes, so just be careful with that. The double elbow on these is hidden really well because of the jacket colors, so it's not really awkward to look at least I don't think. Mine moved super easily right out of the package, no heating up necessary for those. Here it is on the other side, same thing going on, it's hidden nicely. Let's flip it back around and check out that head sculpt. Now this one's the same for 3 out of 4 brothers, where they have that wide smile, the sunglasses, you can see the sculpted eyeballs behind there. The sunglasses are not intended to be removed. If you do take them off, they leave a little bit of an empty hole on the sides. I'm honestly not sure what I would prefer. I kind of wish I had the option, but I don't know. It's okay. Now, like I said, what's unique about all 4 brothers is this jacket. Leo's got the black leather, some nice details with the zippers and the studs. Completely plain on the back, but definitely looking good. Moving on to Don, he shares a lot of the same qualities as Leo, but definitely has that different coat going on. It's more of like a flight jacket or bomber jacket. They did a really good job on this fluffy piece on top. It looks like it would be soft, but it's definitely hard plastic. Nice silver zipper, and you can see a little peekaboo of his belt emblem down there. I think that's what that's supposed to be. Of course, he's got the double elbows as well, but even though his jacket's a lighter color, I think it still is hidden pretty well. I will definitely take it for the increased posability. My Donnie legs were extra wobbly and his feet were a little bit more stuck, so he was pretty hard to stand. You might have seen him tilted over in a previous shot of this video. But overall, I like how the purple complements the brown jacket. I think he's looking pretty good. Next we got Raphael, and definitely more of like a 80s inspired leather jacket. We have these kind of strappy, tassely things up at the top, each with their own studs. We got some more line detail on the back. This one is definitely a different style jacket. They could have just gone plain brown and it would have been okay, but they took it up a notch on this one. I really like it. The glasses were looking a little loose for a second, so I thought I might be able to pop them off with ease, but I'm not going to push it. I don't want to break those things. On the front, it's got a nice silver zipper, a few more of those studs up on the shoulders. And finally, I don't say it often, but Mikey is the star of the show in this pack. He's the only one with that wide, toothy grin, and his jacket has a ton of extra detail. It's got the swoopy zipper part, you can see part of his belt emblem down at the bottom, spikes on the shoulders, extra line detail on the back, continues on the other side. I really like how the light orange complements the dark gray of the jacket. Everything is just looking top-notch on this one. Everything in the upper body for Mikey was definitely working as it should, but I had a little bit of an issue with his left foot. I couldn't really get any sort of movement from it, so again, I don't want to break anything, so I need to heat it up to see how it goes. But it was definitely a little more limited, so just be careful. I don't want anyone to break anything. Even with the foot issue, Mikey is definitely the star of the pack for me. I'm really liking this figure. And let's start with Mikey as we get into these alternate heads. They are the detachable style, so you can separate the tops and bottoms, and they should work well with the new single pack turtles. I haven't opened those up yet, so stay tuned for those. The sunglass heads are a solid piece. I'm guessing so they don't have that big line across the back, but back to the alternate heads. One thing to be really careful about on these is because of the extra hair piece, it might be harder to kind of get a good push down onto the neck peg. I was trying to be careful not to poke my hand or break the hair, so you just got to be a little bit careful with it. I eventually got it back on, and no issues. I like the half-closed eyes on this one. It kind of gives him a more dreamy look, and that floppy hair is looking good up on top. Next is Raphael, and before we get that new head on, I just wanted to note the upper bodies on these are more hollow, so the shell definitely stops about midway through. So if you're planning on removing these jackets in any way for customization, I don't know what you're going to find underneath there. But let's pop on that extra head. His extra hair is a little bit more solid, so you can give it a little more firm of a push. But there he is with that bright pink mohawk. My favorite alternate head definitely has to be this Donatello. He's got the spiky green to orange, the angry look on his face, definitely looking nice. And then here's Leo with his bonus look. I like the bold colors on this one. To start off the comparisons, we're going to use the original Turtles in Disguise. This was the set that introduced the swappable head pieces, and a lot of people were hoping that the skin tones would match on these, but as you can see, they are quite different. My Disguise set was the original release, which is a lot more shiny, and it's definitely a different shade of green as well. The new one should be easier to stand with those wide feet, but we'll see how that holds up in the future. As far as other big differences go, style-wise on the front, you get a little bit more detail in the front shell compared to the Disguise one, but it's very minor. All in all, both are super solid sets, a little more versatility with the old Disguise set, but both cool. But if we want a true punk comparison, we're going to have to get those street-style turtles from Best Action. Honestly, I think both of these sets of turtles are really cool. They do a great job of kind of capturing the style. Obviously, the NECAs are a higher quality figure at a higher price point, so you're going to get a lot more detail, but I think the Best Action ones hold up okay. I don't know if they were trying to literally copy the cartoon or not, but it's a nice compromise of the jacket color. Next is Leonardo. They both definitely have that black leather jacket, both looking good. Different shades of blue, and of course no mohawk, but they do both have the sunglasses. Donatello looks like they're going for the same jacket as well. We don't get quite as much of a poofy collar on the Best Action one, but I think for the cheaper price they do a nice job. NECA is definitely a lot more detailed. And finally, Raphael. Looks like the Best Action went with the white jacket from Season 1, while Raphael went with the Usagi coat. Both different styles, both looking good. But right now, Best Action is winning because he can get that boombox up on the shoulder. It's time to see if we can do the same with the new NECA set. So here's the new boombox accessory from the NECA set. When you directly compare it to the other ones we've gotten, you can definitely see that it's a little bit smaller. Here's the one that came with the original Turtles in Disguise, and then here's the one that came with the pre-mutation set. This one has different details for sure, but is still that big bulky style. I have high hopes that this is going to work, so let's see what we can do. So he still has his standard gripping hands on. Let's see if we can get that handle in there. It goes on pretty easily, honestly. But as far as getting that double elbow to bend the right way with that grip in place, it is really not going to happen. It was honestly a really close call. I just couldn't quite get the angle. But off screen, I was able to find the solution. So instead of using the gripping hand, I used one of the flat palm open hands. And I actually have it bent all the way flat towards the inside. And then I have it poking out just a little bit. So it's not actually all the way down into the wrist hole. I think it works really well, and honestly, I don't know if I'm ever going to move from this pose. Well, actually, scratch that. There's one thing that'll make it a little bit better. Now he's complete with that thumbs up hand. Oh yeah, maybe now he's fighting Mikey for that best figure honor. Let me know what you think. Of course you could do this with any of the brothers. So that's it for the new Punk Disguise 4-pack. All in all, I just love a turtle gimmick, so this pack is right up my alley, but let me know what you all think. There are so many other turtles coming out this Haulathon. I can see people skipping on this one, but for me, it was a must-have. This was a long one. I'm honestly kind of proud of myself for making it through 13 minutes. I truly appreciate the likes, follows, and comments. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.